Hey there, it's Elizabeth, and welcome back. Today we are here to do the journaling tag. So let's see, I'm going to be looking down here because my questions are down here. So here we go. Question number 1, what kind of journaling do you do? Well, as most of you know, I do something called the Fobonichi, which is an illustrated journal. I have one right here in front of me that I was working on. They are just, sorry for the glare, they're just altered composition books. I've told you before, I have like a series of how I make these books and alter them to fit the needs of my Fobonichi. And then inside is, well, that was a stormy day, is just, clip art and various, things about, what's going on in my life. So that is the type of journal that I do. Number 2, do you have different journals for different topics? Yes, I do. And because I did not read these questions, I don't have them right here with me at arm's length. But I'll tell you, because on other videos that I have done in the past, I do have a video on other journals that I use. I have various journals. I have something that I call my Inner Explosions journal. That's where I put my innermost thoughts and I write it in such a way that nobody can read it. I have art journals, I have collage journals, I have prayer journals, I have idea journals. Yep, I do. I have a lot of different journals. I don't work in them all the time. I don't work in them daily. I work in them when I feel like it. So there's that. Number 3, when have you started? I think they mean when did you start? I started journaling back in 2010 probably. I used to journal a little bit when I was in high school, but those journals have long since been burned. But I felt the need back in 2010 to begin journaling again because that was the year that I was diagnosed with the chronic illness that I have. I have something called POTS, P-O-T-S. It stands for Postural Orthostatic Tachycardia Syndrome. And basically what that is it is where my autonomic nervous system is out of whack for whatever reason. I have no idea. And the syndrome affects all of my automatic functions, things like breathing, things like eating, things like heart rate, things like blood pressure, things like temperature, a bunch of different things. So, maybe I'll do another video if you want to learn more about it. I would be happy to spread awareness. But the question was, when did I start? So yeah, back when I first became ill, I was in bed quite a lot for the first 2 years. And I needed something to take my mind off of what I was dealing with. And I did originally have a blog on the computer. I had a blog for a couple of years. And then I got into, the Fobonichi, and I got into writing, keeping my own journal. And before the Fobonichi, I actually, my daughter, I wish I brought it in here because it's so sweet. She had made me one year, it was either for my birthday or for Christmas one year. Well, it was like 2010. She had made me a journal and using my scrapbook supplies and all that. And she had made it out of rings and, she designed the covers and everything. It was just so precious. And the inside was made from index cards. So I wrote in that thing just about daily and filled up the whole thing. And so that's when I really started. It was back in 2010. Now, that's when I started written journaling. Then when I started when I started doing the Fobonichi, I started doing that type of journaling back just last year in January 2015. And so I've been doing that for, a year and 8 months. So that's that question. Number 4, how often do you write in your journal? Well, like I said, I don't work in all of my journals all the time. Sometimes, if I feel the need, I write in them, As far as my Fibonacci goes, I generally work on that pretty regularly on Mondays. What I do is I put Post-it notes in my Fibonacci for the days and the activities and what I've been doing to remind me. I also, throughout the week, get to my computer and I, print out different clip art and things like that to go in my book to go with my Post-it notes. And then a lot of times I'm usually about a week behind. I rarely do journaling for that day on that day, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I'm usually working on multiple pages at a time in varying stages of completion. So yeah, that's how I do that. So yeah, I have daily entries, but I do not work in it every single day. So let's see. Number 5, what are your favorite tools for journaling? Well, I have, for my Fibonacci, I don't know why this isn't closing right. I basically use the same things on all of my pages. So let me see, I have a page right here. I use ephemera from places that I go to. If we go out to dinner, if we go to a gift shop, if we go, shopping, I keep the tags off of clothing. I keep business cards. I keep menus. Occasionally, I've been known to lift coasters from various places of business. So yeah, I collect ephemera of things that we've been doing. Another thing I use in my book without fail is clip art. I love using clip art, and I use clip art because you can pretty much Google anything and get a picture for it. A lot of times in my Fibonacci, I like to find the humor in things. And so, if I'm having a migraine that day or something like that, I will look up later on when I'm feeling well enough. I will look up, like funny migraine memes or whatever, and I will get, just cute, funny little, cartoon clip art things about migraines, and it's not just for the negative things, but it's just for anything. I can literally type out anything. Let me see what's on my desk right here. Oh, my kid's first day of school was, this was just a couple weeks ago, I guess. And so this is what I had picked up. Oh, is it backwards? It's backwards, isn't it? Okay, well, let me explain it to you then. It has like a picture of a mom trying to tear a kid off of a tree trunk, off the tree trunk. And this is the first day of school. And then on the first day of college, which is where my kids are, it's the opposite. The mom is grabbing onto the child, not wanting him to go. So you can find anything on clip art. So yeah, clip art is another thing that I use all the time. That is probably one of my most favorite tools. I often use Posca markers. They are another one of my favorite tools. To write with, I use flares, Papermate flares to write my journaling with. So that's pretty much, oh, and the last thing is colored pencils. I always use colored pencils. So, and I also use washi. My gosh, this list is getting longer and longer. So the original question was, what are your favorite tools? Here they are. Washi, I'm looking down at my book, clip art, ephemera, flare pens. Did I say colored pencils? Colored pencils. And Posca markers. Those are my favorite tools for journaling. Okay, number 6. Would you like to show us some of your journals? Well, most of you have seen my journals, and if you have not, feel free to go back into my videos section right here on my YouTube channel, and I've got probably 60 flip through videos where you can see my flip throughs in all their glory. Let's see. Number 7, why do you do it? That's such a great question. Such a great question. When I first started out journaling, I did it because I needed to get what was in my head out. Most of what was in my head at that point in time, because I was ill, was really the stages of grief. Is what I needed to get out of my head and onto paper. Now, I journal for the fun of it. I journal because I love doing it. I'm so thankful that I found this type of journaling. I'm so thankful. I love the positivity of it. I love finding things, that are humorous. I like finding humor in the things that I go through. I like finding blessings in the things that I go through, and I write those down as well. So it's more of a positive thing for me now, and it's also almost a legacy type of thing, for my children or their children, to be able to go back through these books and see the things that we've done over the years, to see the milestones we've had, to see the good times, some of the bad times, some of the really ugly times. But yeah, as a memory keeper, and I've said it before, I wish my mom would have journaled anyway, any kind of way. I wish she had journaled. I wish her mother had journaled, because I think it's so important to write our memories down. It is so important for the generations that come later. So that is why I do it. So, number 8, how has journaling influenced your life? Well, I touched on that just briefly in the previous question. It's touched my life or influenced my life because now I journal more about the good stuff, I guess. I don't know how to explain it. I find so much joy in journaling in this way, the Fobonichi way, that it just makes me happy. It just makes me happy. Even on those days where I do have a bed day, and I have bed days frequently, or on those days where I'm not feeling all that chipper or all that great, I enjoy sitting down and working on this book. And so, yeah, that's what has influenced me, and working in these books. That's how it's influenced me very positively. Number 9, what topics do you like to write about? In the Fobonichi, I typically just write about my daily events. I write about things that are going on in the day. Sometimes I write about, that's basically it. So like today, I'll write about how I had to go to the bank. I'll write about how I donated 4 large bags of stuff to the local donation site down the street. I will write about the quilt that is on the floor right now, and my dog is laying on it. Oh, for criminy sake. And my thing just popped. Geez Louise, like seriously, Jack? Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna write about that. I'm probably gonna write about, I'm sorry. There. I'm probably gonna write about, hopefully it won't pop again. I'm probably gonna write about how I am vlogging, how I did the tag today. Yeah, the quilt that my dog is laying on is actually for my daughter's boyfriend for his birthday, and I'm helping her work on it. So I'll probably put something like that in there. If anything else happens during the day, I'll, tip something in or write about it in some other way. That's one of the reasons too that I don't journal on the day that things happen, because I wait till the whole day is over with, and then the next day is when I'll journal about it, so that I can fit all of what I want to fit on there. And I don't write everything, you know what I mean? I'll write little snippets here and there about just different things that have occurred during the day. So let's see. Those are the topics I write about. On the Fobonichi Journalers group, they do have prompts. They have different things you can do or you don't have to do. They are very fun to do. I don't do them just because because I write about my daily activities, you know. So yeah, there's that. Number 10, how do you make time for journaling? Okay, well, I have a little bit more free time than most. I am like technically retired. So yeah, I'm at home a lot. However, there are days when I am not feeling well. And so how do I make time for journaling? Let me just change that on my own to what is like my favorite time to journal. My favorite time to journal is well, relatively speaking, early in the morning. You know, I get up about 7 a.m. and I have my coffee, and then I will come in here and work on my Fibonacci, you know, for up to a few hours, you know, but it's not every day. It's not every day. It's usually, in fact, it's usually on like Mondays and Thursdays are usually when I sit down and I just like go phobo crazy and work, you know, on 4 to, you know, 5, 6, 7 pages at a time. So yeah, but the time I like to do that is in the morning. Usually I have a quiet house. The kids are at school, my husband's at work, so it works out. I like doing it in the quiet of the morning. And the last question is, do you have tips for people who want to start the habit? You know, yeah, just do it. That's my tip. Not Fibonacci necessarily, but journaling. Just do it. Get yourself a book, get yourself a pen, and start writing. That's all it takes, really. That's all it takes. And let me tell you what, somebody someday is gonna appreciate it. Because I know for a fact that I would have appreciated so much if my mom and her mom had journaled, had written things down. Because my mom passed away a few years ago. My grandmother a few years before that. And I would love to see, you know, her handwriting. I would love to see and read about her life, her thoughts, what she was doing, all of those things. So that's my tip for you. Pick up a pen, get any kind of book. It doesn't have to be an expensive journal. It doesn't have to be an expensive pen. Just write it down. And it doesn't even have to be some exciting adventure, you know? It doesn't have to be an exciting adventure. Because your life is an exciting adventure, you know? Your life is. And what you do and what you think and all of that is important, you know? You're important. Your thoughts are important. Your memories are important. They are important. And they're important enough to write down so that you don't forget them, you know? Yeah. So anyway, there's my journaling tag for you. I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for sticking it out with me, and I will catch you next time. Thanks. Bye.